the News Authority in Philadelphia.
Good afternoon to you. I'm Michelle Durham, and all eyes are on Texas as residents there weather Harvey, who came ashore as a Category 3 storm. Now, what worries officials, even though the storm is weakening, is flooding. Let's get the latest now in this special report. Special report, Hurricane Harvey hits Texas. Hurricane Harvey has knocked out power to hundreds of thousands of customers along the Texas coast and may dump up to 3 feet of rain. The town of Rockport, Texas is among the hardest hit. Mayor Charles Wax.
I'm hoping that the vast majority of the residents took the warning seriously and evacuated. I know that the traffic out of town on Wednesday was particularly heavy. I hope all of our residents, all of our citizens are safe and can return, and then we can start to reconstruct.
Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner says his city is braced for severe flooding.
There are a number of rain bands that's coming in and out. So this is going to be a major rainmaker. This is just day one. We anticipate 4 to 5 days of this, and so we're asking people to stay off the roads if they don't need to be on the road.
Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner. I'm Ann Cates. And in other news,
with Harvey battering South Texas, the local chapter of the American Red Cross is sending in reinforcements.
Because people may be trapped. We don't know what the medical needs are.
I'm Mike Daugherty.
The mother of the 20-year-old from Montgomery County who died while hiking in the Rocky Mountains says her daughter died of acute altitude sickness. I'm Jim Melward of the Suburban Bureau.
I'm Kristen Johansson. A local Navy airman comes home after nearly a year in Afghanistan.
People don't really get to see a lot of what's going on.
His take on President Trump's strategy coming up.
And in sports, the Phils continue their series at the Cubs at the ballpark. The markets are closed today, and it was a mixed bag on Friday, with the Dow closing up 30 points, Nasdaq closing down 5, S&P 500 closing up 4.
I'm CBS 3 meteorologist Matt Peterson. A sun-filled Saturday for us, a high of 79 today before we cool it down to 63 through the overnight hours tonight. It looks like it's going to be a great Sunday, but we could look for a few showers in the 5-day forecast, which we'll talk about when I check eyewitness weather on KYW News Radio.
Partly cloudy, temperatures now holding nearly steady at 78, and KYW News time 12:30. Let's check in with Brian. Traffic and trends on the tube.
Well, the volume is everywhere as we look out on the Schuylkill eastbound heavy 476 to the Conshohocken curve, an accident on the shoulder there, then slow City Avenue to the Vine Expressway. Westbound slow Vine Expressway to Girard City Avenue out to the curve, and then a little delay at Henderson Road. Martin Luther King Drive closed from Falls Bridge to Sweetbriar Drive for recreational activity. On 95 southbound, heavy Allegheny to Girard jam, Ridley Park to the Commodore Barry Bridge. 95 north slope in the Delaware State line to 322. Lots of volume at this point. We're also getting reports of accidents on 495 north at the 95 split. Before you even get there, there have been a couple of accidents in that area near Naaman's Road. On the Blue Route southbound, still jammed to Route 1, and then from Baltimore Pike to 95 southbound. On the bridges, the Walt Whitman and Commodore Barry are very heavy heading into Pennsylvania. The Ben Franklin Bridge, the volume is cleared out when the construction picked up. On to 42 southbound, slow 130 to 295, also delays 55 to 168. And then you're jammed on the Atlantic City Expressway from 42 to Sicklerville, and then a 2-mile backup at the Garden State Parkway. Now on the Parkway northbound, you're slow Summers Point to the Expressway. Southbound, you're jammed at the White Horse Pike in Absecon, an accident with an SUV versus a bus. That's a little bit of a mess. So we're in pretty good shape with mass transit at this hour. Next update in less than 10 minutes. I'm Brian Ramona, Trumark Financial Credit Union 24-hour traffic center.
Thanks. KYW News time 12:34. Hurricane Harvey downgraded to a Category 1 since first hitting South Texas head-on as a Category 4 storm. The threat of danger, though, far from over. The latest now from CBS News.
CBS News special report. Harvey's on a tear, churning viciously in southeast Texas, now as a Category 1 storm with 75-mile-an-hour winds coming ashore last night. This morning, power is out for about 194,000 customers. CBS's Manuel Bojorquez is in Victoria.
The situation here really started to deteriorate around 2 a.m. That's when the power went out. You could hear transformers blowing, power lines coming down, and what was really scary for people here, including us, was that the hotel started to sway.
The storm is meandering right now.
Because Harvey is moving very slowly, there's this continued onshore wind off the Gulf of Mexico that's going to keep the water levels high, continue driving that water up onto the barrier islands and up into these bays and rivers.
Michael Brennan of the National Hurricane Center.
We're actually still getting reports of storm surge levels of 5 to 6 feet above ground level of inundation, especially in the Port Aransas, Port O'Connor areas.
CBS News Special Report, I'm Gary Nutt.
Just to give you an idea of how much water, more than 16 inches of rain has already fallen in some of the hardest hit areas along that coastline. That number could go up to 40 inches by Wednesday. So volunteers from across the country literally racing to South Texas to assist victims of Hurricane Harvey. And KW's Mike Doherty reports the local chapter of the American Red Cross has already sent help.
2 volunteers from Pennsylvania have touched down in Texas, and more help is on the way. Red Cross Regional CEO Judge Renee Cardwell-Hughes says these volunteers are in demand because they have very unique and specific skill sets.
We also have 3 emergency response vehicles, which are being stocked and are on standby.
She says unlike some disasters, they knew this was coming and could plan accordingly.
The thing about a hurricane is that it does give us this window to allow us to position human supplies, human resources, and physical supplies.
Red Cross is in need of donations. Cardwell-Hughes urges people to give blood or money to send $10 to text 0999. Mike Doherty, KYW News Radio.
A presidential pardon for the man who used to bill himself as the toughest sheriff in America.
President Trump has pardoned former Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who'd been convicted of intentionally disobeying a judge's order in an immigration case. He'd been an early supporter of the Trump campaign. University of Virginia political analyst Larry Sabato says it was a pretty easy choice for Mr. Trump.
He knows the next election's a long time away. He knows that his base, which consists of tens of millions of people, will back him whatever he does.
Both Mr. Trump and Arpaio had questioned the authenticity of then-President Obama's birth certificate, and they have a similar history of sparring with judges. Sam Litzinger, CBS News, Washington.
KWB News time, 12:30.
Throughout the afternoon today, we look for sun-filled skies, a high of 79 degrees. Tonight, it stays generally clear across the area. Temperatures will be falling down to 63. So
At the Suburban Bureau, Jim Melvin, KYW News Radio.
In what's called the first study of its kind, medical researchers have attached some staggering numbers to the opioid crisis. The team studied hospital admissions and deaths in big city intensive care units over a 7-year period. They tracked a 34% increase in opioid-related cases between 2009 and 2015. Jennifer Stevens at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center says, look beyond the big city, it's probably even worse.
I would suspect that this epidemic, particularly in critical care, has hit the rural community hospitals or the suburban community hospitals even harder.
The study also found the cost of dealing with opioid patients doubled over the 7-year period. I'm Jan Johnson, KYW News Time 1241.
Do you realize the stock market's on its 9th year of growth? Differently. We work with one of the nation's largest law firms to put together 2 extremely secure investments that guys like Warren Buffett and other institutional investors have been using for decades. Both have a fixed rate. They don't change valuations.
to their mayor. And even folks in Houston are bracing for the flooding as Harvey is expected to dump as much as 40 inches of rain in some spots. KOW News Time, 1246. Time for KOW Sports, sponsored by SEPTA. The best way from home to home field is the SEPTA Broad Street line. To find your trip at iseptaphilly.com. And Sue Schilling joins us.